Hello everyone, it's Natasha from Treasure Books. I was playing around in my scraps box yesterday, this one over here, and I just pulled out some random things and created these two pieces in about 15-20 minutes, and I think they look really cool for like a ready-made kind of a journal embellishment, journal cover embellishment. Look how cool this looks. So just having something ready, this one probably not for this book, but just having something ready to go on a journal cover saves a lot of sort of thinking time. I like to limit myself with the things that I use, so I pulled out some random scraps. They're not so random because I was looking at complementary colors that kind of go together. So I'm going to make one of those cover embellishments just to show you how easy it is to plop some things down and make something cool. Okay, so I've chosen a few different things. We've got lace and fabric and different types of paper, some embossed paper here, some burlap over here. But for my base, I'm using cardstock. This is also, you know, a misprint, so I like to use everything up. So before I start assembling, I'm going to cut this piece down to, maybe I'll use this size, which is 4.5 by 7, because it seems like a nice size. All right, let's start assembling. Okay, so I'm going to speed this process up, but I'm just going to randomly start assembling things on here. I'm not gluing or doing anything else. I'm going to try to use all of my pieces here and see what I can come up with. I can always take away if it's too much. So maybe something like this. I quite like this. So what I'm going to do now, if you're not using your sewing machine, you can glue the pieces down as you go. But because I know that I'll be using my sewing machine, I just kind of stuck them down. And now I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and sew it all together. But I'm thinking to remove those two. But I'm just going to start off with this. Okay, so I've removed these two pieces. I'm going to do that later. But first I want to sew this down. And I'm going to start with this triangular piece here and then just do random stitching all around. So I'm holding it all in place and I'm going to start over here. Okay, so that one's sewn and it's a little bit bunched up here because it's very difficult to have the camera in the way, but that's easily fixed. I'm just going to do a little zigzag stitch right over the top to hide that bunching up. See, that looks a lot better. So now what I'm going to do is maybe I'll just start on here and I'm just going to sew all around and show you what I've done. Okay, here it is, all sewn around, little zigzag stitches and some straight stitches over here. I might even sew this down with a straight stitch. And now I'm going to add these pieces as well. And here we go, this is what I've got so far. So now I'm just going to neaten it up a little bit, trim these bits, and I'm going to get, see how much sewing on the back? I'm going to get all of these bits to the inside, or they can just simply be trimmed off, but I don't know why, I like to get them all on the back. Here we go, nice and neat. And now I'm going to finish it off with some sort of a focal point, so maybe like a little, let's see. I'm just going to play around a bit. I think I want a button here. I really like that look, just how I did on this one. So I'm going to get another button. And now this will be a little book plate, or maybe I can put a sentiment on or something. Maybe something like this. I like it. So because this is kind of sticking out a bit too much, I'm going to sew it on. I think something like this so that this flower is still visible. So I might just sew that down right there. Here we go, that looks much better now. Now it looks like it belongs on there because it's sewn on, whereas before it was kind of jutting out too much. And now I'm going to glue this down and sew my button on. So this is a stamp that I stamped on a scrap piece of cardstock. See? There's lots of them in here, lots of different ones that I can just add to my projects as I'm working on them. I have a video on that But anyway, back to this, and now I'm going to sew this button on. I could have had my knot at the back, but I wanted it at the front. So I'm just going to tie a double knot here, make sure it stays in place. And the final touch. And here we go. Just a few pieces plopped down together, and I think it looks really cool. Let's pretend this is a journal cover. I really like it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Now that I've put this one next to this one, it kind of looks like I really need to put something here. So that looks better. I might glue that down. So it's really quite easy, just pulling a few pieces out. This one I did all complementary colors, but this one here I just did random scrap. I didn't even use paper on this one apart from the book plate. I just used scrap pieces of fabric and put a button on, and it still looks quite finished. So I think just playing around and placing things and collaging and just seeing what happens. And often they say when you're looking at your design, if you're not sure, you should turn it around and look at it upside down, and then something will jump out at you. Like now when I do this, I'm noticing this section here, but I'm just going to leave it because I'm quite happy with how it looks. I don't want to be adding more stuff, but that wouldn't hurt to be sewn on. Anyway, I'm happy with it. I hope you guys feel inspired. I hope you learned something new. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!